collection of a couple things we saw we love. Brandon, you love that Titans win.
Yeah, I mean, it was another team. All my predictions are coming true so far. I know Nick's going to try to crush me and say, oh, Brandon, you're contradicting yourself. It's week 1. It's an overreaction. But this is coming true. The Titans played terrible, and they still won. So hats off to this team for getting a huge win in Monday Night Football.
All right, Kevin, Milwaukee's best for Giannis.
All right, so Woj tweeted out ESPN sources in a 3-hour lunch meeting. You can basically stop there. Look, I'll give you a 90-minute breakfast. I'll give you a 4-hour dinner. But I am not giving you a 3-hour lunch. That will just get you into trouble. There's nothing to talk about for 3 hours with Giannis. Here's what you do. Hey, we're going to give you the Supermax. It's around $250. It's more than any other team can give you. And we're going to go over the luxury tax and try to get Chris Paul. Then you look at it like, all right, you got 2 hours and 59 minutes left. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Eventually, around the 2-hour, 15-minute mark, you're like, what's up with your free throws, huh? You've been going down the last 4 years. You know, it's the same position. What's the deal? Hey, you're a 2-time MVP, but you can't just have like a singular move to get to the basket besides that spin move. Like, we'd like to post you up. I'm telling you, 2-hour lunch, max Lasry next time. 3 hours, way too much, Jenna.
Nick, heads up play from Larry Fitz.
Yeah, I tried to get this in yesterday. I'm always crushing teams for bad game management. This was utter brilliance by Fitzgerald. The Cardinals trying to mount a comeback into the first half. The pass is not even to Fitzy. It's to Nuke. There is 10 seconds left when this play ends. He gets the ball from him, runs it to the middle of the field, hands it to the center. That is the single most efficient spike play that you can't run it faster. That is the breaking the speed of sound on the spike play. It can't be done better than that. That got them 3 points. It proved critical. Awesome. That was as smart as any play made this weekend.
Hey guys, there's an old expression in football that goes, if not by feet, then by fours. All fours. This is Steelers outside linebacker Ola Adeniyi, who will do anything to rush the passer, including do it from his belly, which is as far away from the passer as you could possibly get. But he does it. Crawl, 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 crawl. Watch it. Ready? No, but I will tell you this, great core strength involved in something like that. I once did the length of a football field just like that. Fantastic core strength. That was obviously my takeaway. Now, it proved ineffective. Daniel Jones got the pass off, but core strength is my takeaway from last night's game. Okay, let's pull back the curtain. So, in a commercial break yesterday, we started talking about the Browns and why Odell wasn't the star of Sunday's game. And as is often the case, Kevin Wilde said, hey, save it for the show. So we did, and here we are, saving it for the show. The Ravens embarrassed the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Baker and Odell clearly not on the same page. Odell just 3 catches for 22 yards. Head coach Kevin Stefanski saying the disconnect between his 2 stars is something we, quote, have to get to the bottom of. Brandon, these 2 already played an entire season together. This isn't a new relationship.
It's not good.
Baker knows Odell. Odell knows Baker. This was their 17th game on Sunday. So who do you think needs to be more accountable here, Baker or Odell?
I think everybody needs to take a chill pill and relax. I just think because of exactly what you said, they played last year and they spent a lot of time together in the offseason, that it should be better. But this is coach's job to get this right. And I think he's feeling the pressure inside the building that you have this star wide receiver, once in a lifetime wide receiver in talent, and you have to take advantage of it, and they can't find a way. So when I heard this, I was like, wow, this is not good, because obviously this is an internal discussion, and this is top of mind for a lot of folks in this organization. But when I watched the film, I literally sat down last night and I went through every single play. And I thought Coach did a tremendous job of calling the game and getting Odell in position. Now, I'm saying this from experience. Like, my skill set is totally different than Odell's. But we're #1 wide receivers. I was a #1 wide receiver, and I think it holds true for most guys. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas. You get the same looks. Teams are going to double you. They're going to roll coverage to you. They're going to disguise coverage. And that's what you see. So when I look at what they did with Odell, there's two ways you can approach it. You can leave a guy outside and just say, okay, scheme as you want to. And then there's another way that you can approach it, and that's, let's move this guy around so it's hard to find where he's at and game plan against him. He played X. He played in the slot. He played Z. He ran slant from the slot. He ran option from the slot. They play action on first down and tried to take shots and get the ball down the field. He ran slant from the X wide receiver on the short side of the ball. He was targeted 10 times. And when you look at it, I was like, wow, is this about the Cleveland Browns or is this about the Baltimore Ravens? And it really was about the Baltimore Ravens. When you look at what they did, they had defensive linemen jumping underneath his routes. They had edge press rushers jumping underneath his routes when he was at Z or X and he was outside the numbers. So they did a hell of a job trying to take Odell out of this game. So I really think everybody needs to take a chill pill. Definitely there's pressure there. They need to figure it out because you have an emotional player who can really go into hiding if you don't get him involved. But here's the thing, though. This is what, and I have to say this. I have to say that I was an emotional player. And this is what Coach Shanahan and the Denver Broncos did for me to get me involved. They would come to me before the game and say, Brandon, this is a game where you're probably not going to be involved much. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a smoke route. That's a one-step hitch. It's an extended run. If you get 4 yards, great. But we want you to touch the ball. We want you to be a part of it. If it goes for 40, that's icing on the cake. They also ran screens. They ran bubbles. Half of my catches every single year came off of those extended running plays where they just tossed the ball out to me and let me make something happen. You didn't see that. So I think there's huge opportunity for them to get Odell involved early and be honest with the guy and say, look, we're playing against a Baltimore Ravens team that's historically taken out the #1 wide receiver that plays outside by the numbers. So be patient and understand that this may not be your game.
Well, so listen, you obviously hit on a bunch of super important things there. The last one that I want to focus on is the emotional component of this. And I understand the audience and certain folks are going to be like, listen, everyone wants their wide receiver to be Larry Fitzgerald. I just showed him. He has a football IQ off the charts. Totally emotionally even-keeled. Almost no diva to him whatsoever. Is not going to throw a fit on the side. That's great. Awesome. But there is one Larry Fitzgerald. And he comes around about once a generation, if that. Other guys, it is the coach's job to get the most out of the talent, knowing the talent's own either physical, emotional, or mental limitations. And I think understanding that Odell is a guy that is highly emotional, for good or for bad, that is a sensitive guy, for good or